Let's fight! A very good evening to each and every one of you, wherever you guys are joining us from this evening, whether you're at home here in Guyana or you're in the diaspora. You're on YouTube, you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook. Let's fight. Great to see each and every one of you in the ring with us this evening. A fantastic evening to each and every one of you. And really good to see you guys in the ring. We are just double checking things behind the scenes here, and we too are enjoying the rush with our brother Randolph Critchlow there as he was unpacking so many issues. Really good to see all of you guys. Happy Friday. Trust that you guys have had a good day wherever you were, at work, at home, getting assignments done. Happy Friday evening. Thank God it's Friday. We've come to the end of yet another work week, and we're tremendously privileged that all of you guys are here with us. We are fired up at our end, and we are ready to go as well. Really happy to see so many of you joining us already. And you all know by now, these past couple of days, we ain't wasting time. We're getting right to it. Really great to see all of you guys in the ring with us, equally fired up and ready to go. And we're just doing a little housekeeping behind the scenes here, ensuring that we are good on all fronts. Really good to see each and every one of you guys, wherever you are joining us from this evening. Lily McGarrell, Doreen Clark, Joan and Gloria Fraser, Simone Kennedy, Vanessa Lavina Pollard says no work, no pay. Brent Mentor is in the house all the way from Texas. And Brent, I hear that everything is bigger in Texas. Why is that? They say Texas by itself should be a continent. Lovern, Harry Chiran, Kelman, Passad, good to see you there. Welton Blue and Tiola. A great evening to each and every one of you. I have to give a shout out to lots of folks this evening. Folks send me messages about, names I must call and how I should give them a shout out and so forth. And I ain't want getting nobody bad books, folks. So I am tumbling right now through a note I took early on. Somebody says they're an ardent viewer of the program and they wanted me to give them a shout out, and definitely I don't want to disappoint them at all. So I am boxing through my things here, looking for that little notation, guys. And I want to give if I can give all of you guys a shout out, I would do that. I want to give all of you fantastic folks a shout out tonight. Campton Alt, good to see you there. And Cheryl Mulrain, good to see you as well. Bonita Green, great to see you, Bonita. Hope all is well with you and the family. Happy weekend to all of you guys. Deshaun, Alexander, and Cheryl Mulrain again. Winston Henry is here with us. Some fantastic folks. Paul DeAnjo as well as Samuel and John Raymond. Orwin Don Cook, good to see you there, Orwell. Icon, is it Vivo? Margaret Jones, good to see you there. John Nelson. Don, how are you doing? Don, thank you for that thing. Don says good night to all of you guys from Dubai. Guys, it's Friday night, but you guys know, not because it's Friday we are gearing down. We are heading into fifth gear and sixth gear and seventh gear in the ring, folks. A lot of information to share with you guys, and we're so thankful that all of you guys are with us. We would have it no other way. So welcome to each and every one of you in the ring, guys. Tremendously privileged that so many of you can join us this evening. Marcia Grant and June Mona, Cheryl Andrews and Horace Thomas. I see Gwyneth Jones there as well. And folks, as I call the names, we've been asking you guys to partner with us. I'm going to just let that aspect of our show go as I call some of the names, guys. But really great to have each and every one of you in the ring with us this evening. Find a way to partner with us. Michelle Williams, good to see you, Doc. Boots on the ground. William backing down, boots on the ground. Angela McDonald, Cheryl Gillis, Rochelle Pollard, Dawn, Barnes, Dulles Gulliver, Leslyn Alves, Robert Noreen, good to see you. Trust that you've had a good day as well. I had a fantastic day. Sandra, good luck. As you guys come in the ring this evening, share the live stream, guys. I am going to be joined by the parents, folks. I'm going to be joined by the parents of that, that young child that lost his life recently. Some say it's COVID-19. The health official says it's as a result of COVID-19. We want to get to the bottom of the Kellon Belle story, that youngster from Bushland. And folks, you're going to want to hear some of what the parent has to say. The Kellon Belle story. That comes up a little later on in the program, folks. But we want you guys to come and to partner with us so that we can do more of these programs. We can even expand our programs, do it even more professionally, folks. So come on board. The platforms that are available to you, they're showing right there. Good to see you, Julie, Natasha McPherson, and all you other fantastic folks. I don't know about you guys, but we are ready to fight. We're ready to fight, and good to see each and every one of you. We're ready to fight, guys. We are ready to fight. It's Friday Night Fights. Great to see each and every one of you, wherever you're joining us from, again, at home here in Guyana or around the world. Onika, Brahma, Paddy, some fancy names here on Facebook. Marlene, Camille, Van Veen. Your parents couldn't get all simple names, man. Sue and Todd and Tim, John and Mary, simple names like that. Vanessa Calendar and Rowena, good to see you there. Rowena Cummins, Sharon Griffith, Viola Robinson, Karen Archibald, fantastic, beautiful folks. GT Root Girl, good to see you there. Odessa Primus, all you fantastic folks. Good to have you in the ring. And I told you, coming up, we're going to hear from the parent of that young child that lost his life, as the authorities say, according to what the authorities say, because of COVID-19. That story not enough, but we're going to be talking to the parents, folks. My notes are set. I am set. And I trust that you guys are ready, not only to partner with us, but ready to get into the fight card, folks. I am ready as well. Great to see each and every one of you, each and every one of you folks. Thanks for joining us in the ring this evening. And let me make sure we have the right the right graphics that are on. Thank you guys who have been partnering with us, folks. We feel the love. We feel the love, but we know so many more of you. Y'all stingy. You come every night, you absorb the information, but you don't left nothing. Left a blinder, man. Thank you guys who've been partnering with us, folks. Again, we feel the love. We feel the love here in the ring, guys. We feel the love. Again, welcome in the ring, wherever you guys are joining us from, at home here in Guyana, around the Caribbean, Region 11, further afield. Welcome in the ring. And guys, as you come into the ring, don't make a beg. Y'all know we're craving for the emojis. Y'all know we're craving for the shares. Share, retweet, subscribe if you guys are joining us on our YouTube page. Subscribe to that page. You'll get the notifications as they come in. You can also follow all of the pages you might be viewing us from across Facebook. If you are joining me on my own Facebook page, Sherrod Avery Duncan, follow, click that follow button there, folks, and let's get right to it. Quite a bit of information to share with you, and guys, you're going to want to share the live stream. Let's get right into it, guys. If you guys are ready, I am ready as well. I'm ready as well, guys. Let's fight. Great to have all of you guys, as I said, in the ring. Welcome. Let's start with a bit of news from, as we do it, around the region, folks. And if you guys have been following what has been happening lately, this news broke just this morning, late last evening, early this morning, that Abu Bakr, that infamous coup leader there in Trinidad, has lost, met his demise just last evening. Lost his life just last evening. They said he took in at home. They rushed him to hospital. He collapsed at home. He was rushed to hospital and died at hospital. He was 80 years old, celebrated his 80th birthday just 2 days ago. If you guys are all political activists, all political enthusiasts have been following Caribbean events. In 1990, Abu Bakr led a coup in Trinidad and Tobago, an unsuccessful coup, holding several members of parliament, including the Trinidadian prime minister at that point, the TNT prime minister, who was shot and survived in that coup there. And so this was a man who was feared in some quarters of Trinidadian society. And this is a bit of homework for you guys to do over the weekend. Those of you who are not too familiar with who Abu Bakr is, Abu Bakr in Trinidadian history, and I dare say in Caribbean history, from 1990 to when he met his demise just last evening, he was a man who was respected by some, feared by others, leading that 1990 coup there in Trinidad. It was unsuccessful, but nonetheless earned his place in infamy by that brazen, dastardly act. That being said, folks, we turn our attention to some of the Jagabats. So I've given you guys some homework there. And as you come on the live stream, I encourage you to share the live stream. Well, this morning we saw some information coming across our screens on social media. And what they were telling us was quite interesting. A bit of news coming out to our CARICOM counterpart, Cynthia Barrow-Giles. And for those of you who, again, might not be familiar with who Cynthia Barrow-Giles is, she was one of the persons who was part of the CARICOM scrutinizing team. If you remember carefully, that there was a case that challenged the team that they could not supervise the national recount of the 2020 general and regional elections, but they could scrutinize the process of the recount. The two essays they couldn't supervise, but they could scrutinize what was happening, under what circumstances the recount was taking place. So she was part of that team, and a report was produced from the efforts of Cynthia Barrow-Giles and her counterparts. A report was actually produced out of that recount. And in that report, Barrow-Giles and her counterparts said that they only scrutinized 18% of the ballot boxes because they had a small team. It was a 3-man team, if memory serves us correctly. And so while you had hundreds of other persons there, various, not polling stations, whatever they call them, recount stations, Barrow-Giles and her team were small in number, numbering only 3. And as part of their report, they stated that they were only able to scrutinize 18% of the total amount of ballot boxes, which numbered over, I think, 2,400, somewhere there about 2,400 ballot boxes. And they were only able to scrutinize 18 of them. And at the end, they said in their estimation, in their humble estimation, the process was reasonably credible. That is what they said. It was reasonably credible. But for those persons who combed through the report was paradoxical. It was hypocritical at some points. It seemed to turn upon itself. As a matter of fact, I'm going to quote just a part of that report for you. Remember, this is a team that came to scrutinize the national recount. That is what they came to do. They came to scrutinize the recount. And in part of the report, they said, the team said, what they witnessed was not a recount. I'm trying to find the section. They said what they witnessed was an audit. The same team that said the recount was reasonably credible after looking at 18% of what took place there in the National Recount Center. 18%, they scrutinized 18%, but they pronounced on 100% of the recount. They say it was reasonably credible. And then they themselves in their report stated that what they witnessed was not a recount, but it was an audit, an electoral audit. Those were their exact words. It was an electoral audit. And I want to quote exactly what they said on that note. But substantively, that was the point they made in a section of the report, that it was not a recount, but an electoral audit. Now, Cynthia Barrow-Giles, she is a political scientist at the Edghill campus. When last we did some research work on her, and she has authored several books on Caribbean politics, but specifically focuses on electoral systems in the region. The body of our work focuses on electoral systems in the region. And so you can understand that somebody like Cynthia would be happy to be part of the scrutinizing team. But what was the content of that article just this morning is what has raised a lot of eyebrows. Because here is Cynthia Giles and one Ronnie Yearwood, a counterpart of hers. One Ronnie Yearwood. This is the header for the article. UWI lecturers question the independence of Guyana's Court of Appeal on political and election cases. They question the independence of our Court of Appeal on political and elections cases. And to sum it up in a nutshell, they argue that the cases that were the judgments rather that were delivered on election cases in the High Court were overturned by the Court of Appeal. And in their words, they said it was the CCJ that rectified that. So the Court of Appeal overturned decisions on election cases delivered by the High Court, those judgments, and then it was the CCJ that rectified them. In this article, they argue, ladies and gentlemen, they do not want to bring disrepute to the court, but they're arguing that the judgments coming out of the Court of Appeal were questionable. Now I want to know who they're working for. Cynthia has gone from electoral system to now blasting our Court of Appeal judgments. She has offered no history of those judgments. And just like the recount, she's not even looking at 18% of the cases produced by the Court of Appeal, but she has come to impugn the character of our Court of Appeal justices. Now, Cynthia Barrow-Giles, as far as I've seen in her credentials here, does not have any training in legal issues, in jurisprudence, in jurisprudential issues, but she's pronouncing on our High Court and the judgments emanating from our High Court, an independent sovereign nation. This sounds to me a little bit like Lillian Chatterjee. And it is quite interesting, the timing of it. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two cases that are still before the High Court, before the Court of Appeal. The elections petition cases. And the election petition case 88 comes up for hearing on jurisdictional matters, I believe on the 28th of this very month. So the timing of Cynthia Barrow-Giles is very interesting. She is stating that the judgments coming out of the Court of Appeal, they are questionable. One can ask, is Cynthia Barrow-Giles fronting for someone and trying to change the complexion of those decisions? And Cynthia says she's not trying to impugn the character of these justices. Similarly, I dare not impugn the character of our Chief Justice, but some have said that her judgments are questionable as well. Some have said that the Chief Justice has her eyes set on the CCJ. But I would allow Cynthia Barrow-Giles to come and disrespect our justices in the Court of Appeal. None of them. None of them. Leave that to us across the political divide in this country. So they state they don't want to impugn the characters of the justices. But by default, that is exactly what their invective is seeking to do here. Now, I'm hoping that this is a point where you hear the learned Attorney General install Anil Nandalat speak up for the Court of Appeal. All of those defenders and protectors of the Constitution and our sovereignty, now's a good time to defend the Court of Appeal. Because when some on this side of the political aisle, ladies and gentlemen, talk about these issues and about the quality of judgments, you hear, you cannot. So we ain't going to allow somebody who don't understand these judicial matters to come and pronounce on our legal system. No, we cannot have that, guys. We cannot have that. And that is how that whole protracted period went awry, you know, because some people can be bought. Some people can be bought. And those of you who know. So when Cynthia Giles and Ronnie Yearwood come talking the tripe, come again. You can pick up a couple of cases and use that as fodder to impugn our justice system. Y'all mad? That being said, folks, that being said, in other issues in the region, you all remember I told you all about this issue here of Jamaica's Jim Jones? Guys, you're going to want to share the live stream. So as we're examining this issue, more material of these wacky pastors, doomsday preachers, the Jim Jones type, are emerging. More and more of them are emerging, and folks, we found one such video. Guys, you're going to want to brace yourselves for this one. You are going to want to brace yourself for this one. Because if you think that was bad, look what is happening in some other churches. Look some of what is happening in other churches. Ladies and gentlemen, look what's happening.
The Bible says support suffering.
Then what kind of worship your preference
is to test to know whether you're ready for the ministry.
If you are giving in the town hall,
He's not dead. He is not dead. Yes. You are my everything. You are my standard. Till the day you are. Jesus, I am your own. You are my everything. You are my strength. See the day you will come. Jesus, I am your own. I am your own. I am your own. See the day you will come. Jesus, I am your own. I am your own. I am your own. I won't take you away from my passion. I won't take you away from my life. Jesus, 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 you are my friend. Jesus,
And it is supported.
the Bible says support suffering.
The important verse to your preference
He's to test to know whether you're ready for the ministry.
if you are in the town hall.
He's not dead. He is not dead. Yes. You are my everything. You are my standard. Till the day.
Folks, I want to know if Licks is sharing some of y'all churches. I want to know if Licks the share in y'all churches. You know, I can tell. That's not the first time Licks sharing in that church, you know. Right? That's not the first time Licks sharing in that church. Listen to how the choir is singing very calmly. Like there's nothing strange happening here. That's not the first time Blow sharing in that church. That is not the first time. What kind of church some of y'all is go to? Some of y'all right now. Oh, that's a Primus. Some of y'all right now, I ain't saying, oh, that's a Primus. But some of y'all right now, y'all skin must be hotting. Y'all skin must be hotting. Because y'all know y'all's going to take your licks. I ain't going to no church when nobody beating me. Rennie Love. Some people saying that's everyday thing. Chanel Smith Daniels, you get beat by your church. Claudette Boffin Lewis, you take lashes. GT Rude Girl, what about you? Y'all gotta watch these Jim Jones pastors. Watch these Jim Jones pastors. Watch them. If your skin hot and get your little thing at night, watch them. You going to you throw your ties and people beating you? Something wrong with that. Watch these Jim Jones pastors and share the live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, purgatory at home and abroad. Purgatory. That is what gives with some of the comments we see with Ronnie Yearwood and Cynthia Barrow-Giles. Purgatory. There's no other way to describe it. So the Fisher Bishop, as we talking about false prophets, the Fisher Bishop went to visit the road that leads to nowhere. He went to visit the road that leads to nowhere, Kesharma. Right? The road is like him. The road ain't going no place. The road is just like him. They're building a road that goes no place. So the man went out there to prove a point. He said to hold on, this road going somewhere. He said, hold on. Mind you, folks, this road to nowhere cost $27 million. According to the good bishop. Right? I want the people to get beat at the church. I wonder if Lex is share there. $27 million for that road to nowhere. Here what the man said. Here the bishop said. One Edghill, the installed minister of public works, he said this is one of the connector roads. But here what happened in this instance. Here this. He said we could not have come and connected this road with the other road because of a failed culvert. Well, this is an indictment in and of itself. Because like you build the road, then you check the culvert. And then you check the drains. Right? These are the people who's build a road and then they come and cut it tomorrow to run a wire. So you build the road and then you realize, oh shucks, they got a culvert here that need fixing. So I don't know if he has made the matter better by stating that there's a collapsed culvert there and they got to wait for somebody else to come and fix it. This is the road is like them. They ain't going no place. They are not going anywhere and they're not going in a hurry. The road's to nowhere, folks. Road to nowhere. They ain't going no place. And Guyana is not a real place. That is one example why Guyana is not a real place. Y'all remember we told you guys of the splurge and spending in Dubai, of how people are spending big in Dubai. Remember we told you about that, ladies and gentlemen? Of the big spenders? Well, folks, look at a school in New Amsterdam, right next door to the Department of Ministry of Education. Look at a trading school. While millions, if not billions, being spent in Dubai. This is right in Guyana, you know. And look at the school under this administration. When you go to class here, you gotta get your umbrella. The teacher writing on the board gotta have an umbrella, and the students sitting in the classroom need an umbrella as well. Take another look at that. Maybe those are the things that cause Cynthia Barrow-Giles and Ronnie Yearwood to make the eyes and pass us. We are in Leaking Roof School. Guyana is not a real place. And look at another example. You can imagine you have reservists. The Guyana Defense Force, People's Militia, have been working on the forefront of COVID-19, on the forefront for 8 months without pay. Credible sources suggest, ladies and gentlemen, credible sources suggest that the authorization is right on Irfan Ali's desk for months and he's not been signing it. The authorization for their pay, credible sources suggest. Our GDF reserves, 8 months, people working with no pay. Guyana can't be a real place. Cannot. And in addition to that, Vindia, your name calling, and the Ministry of Social Protection, no pay this month. And no word from management when people shall be paid. No pay this month. No pay. And we're being made to understand it's not only Ministry of Social Protection. One Joshua Abbott took to social media. He says, imagine working an entire month hard in the emergency room, being exposed with both COVID and non-COVID patients, and the Ministry of Health ain't pay us our salary. He's furious. He's furious. Things tight. The people want their money. They deserve their money. Why is government holding back the salaries of our reservists. 8 months. Why the social protection staff has not been paid? Why the Ministry of Health staff has not been paid? One Rahim Lalchan, again on social media, Rahim Lalchan lashed out at the administration. This is not me. Rahim says the president and ministers need to go live in poverty so they can know how it feels rather than sitting on their thrones and having taxpayers' money providing everything for them. I said what I said. People seeing the extravagance in Dubai, seeing how they're living at home here in good old Guyana, right? Seeing how they're being treated, they're not being paid on time or not being paid at all in certain other instances. So Vindia, your name calling. Frank Anthony, your name calling. Catfish, your name calling. Why y'all are not paying the people of this country who are working hard in the public sector? And y'all know things tight. Y'all know things tight. 2 budgets later, nothing for public servants. And the GPSU asking for hardship cash grant for workers. Some categories, they're asking for $300,000 as a one-off payment. And another category of worker, they're asking for $250,000 each. Hardship. Things tight. Things tight. And so the GPSU has come out asking the regime for a one-off cash payment. $300,000 in one instance for a particular category of public servants, and then $250,000. 2 budgets later, that Jagabat Jagdeo said that there was $10 billion in the 2021 budget for public servants. That's probably the $10 billion that they used to go to where they went. Dubai. Now it's life after Dubai. Signs of the times, ladies and gentlemen. Signs of the times. This Jagabat raped 3 teenage boys. Well, he having his day in court. 3 teenage boys raped by this Jagabat. Y'all think it's easy? Y'all better watch for y'all sending y'all children. Watch the homes y'all sending y'all children to. And we're wondering what happened to that rape story at the Ministry of Health as well, involving that driver from the Ministry of Health headquarters right here in Brickdam. Whatever happened to him? You got some sick people in this country, you know. Sick. Physically, mentally, psychologically. Plenty of them in government too. And that's not the only rape story. 2 policemen were yesterday, according to Starbuck News. 2 policemen, you know. You remember just recently, you saw that sentence being upheld with the 2 from the, what do you call it, Churkine police station who raped the woman who went to make a complaint. 2 policemen were yesterday charged with rape and released on $75,000 bail. 2 policemen, Roland DeAndre and Terrence Hamilton. One of Phoenix Park, the West Bank, and Hamilton is from Efield, Sophia. Yep. And they are charged with the rape of a 21-year-old in Central Lethem. 21-year-old. Their case has now been pushed down to December 6th. Sick people. A lot of sick people. You're going to want to hear the story of the young man, the lad who lost his life to COVID. Coming up. Sick people. Policemen. 2 policemen charged with rape. My parents always told us something. If you didn't went, your name can't get called. 2 policemen. That being said, we on rape still. Rape of the teenage boys. rape of this young woman by 2 policemen. That driver there from Ministry of Health, a driver now attached to the Regional Democratic Council in the Rupununi Region 9. A driver attached to the Regional Democratic Council in Region 9 was arrested last weekend after he reportedly, allegedly raped a 14-year-old girl, a schoolgirl, after offering her a drop on his motorcycle. Hear the story. Reports are that the girl was walking home when the man rode up and offered her a drop. As they proceeded along the public road, the accused took the backtrack route in a bushy area where he stopped his motorcycle and asked the victim to have sexual intercourse with him. Just so. According to reports, the girl bluntly refused. Damn right. And this infuriated the man. He's sick. He then forced the victim to have sexual intercourse with him. Villagers who usually use the backtrack heard the victim crying and went to her aid. By this time, the man rode away from the area. That is sick people. Sick. The girl is 14. He offered her a ride with his own intention. Sick. Sick. A lot of sick people. You got that kind of sick people, and then you got the COVID sick. The COVID sick. And we know how they're going. Ladies and gentlemen, we know how that is going. It's a crisis. You all know to get to the States now, the U.S. authorities asking that person take a specific regime of COVID-19 vaccine, of which SPUTNIK is not one of them because it has not been approved by the WHO. Just today, Frank Anthony says they have made no provisions for persons who took the SPUTNIK vaccine to take any other vaccines. And they are students, we're being made to understand, who are home from colleges in the US, who are going to be stranded because they took the COVID-19 vaccination locally here and will not be allowed back into the US, having taken the SPUTNIK V. I showed you them and the shady sheik in Dubai. The man who took millions of our Guyanese dollars and didn't deliver all the SPUTNIK V vaccine. Them and he had breakfast in Dubai. You see the nerve? You see the gumption of these folks? So Frank Anthony is telling us today that they have made no alternative arrangements. So if you took the SPUTNIK V and you want to travel to the US, you're stranded. But this whole government stranded. The whole administration stranded. And as we run COVID, we turn our attention to little Kellon Belle from Bushlot. Little Kellon Belle from Bushlot, who has lost his life. I think he was 3 years old, if my notes are correct. Lost his life, according to the authorities, to COVID-19. But ladies and gentlemen, is it so? You're going to want to share the live stream. Is it so? Give me a second. Give us a second to get young Kellon's parents on the phone, because we want to hear what they have to say on this matter. So ladies and gentlemen, give us a second to get the parents on the line. You're going to want to stay tuned to this. You are going to want to hear this live stream. You're going to want to share the live stream, and you're going to want to hear this story. So let me see if I can get them on the line very quickly for us folks. Let me see if I can get them on the line. I think they're standing by. Let me make sure that we are good to go. You're going to want to hear this story. Lots of questions are being asked about this COVID center and COVID management on the whole. Lots of questions. So let me ensure that I have the numbers right. And let's see what happens. Nothing irregular. Nothing irregular. Let's see if we get the parents on the line. Nothing irregular. Stand by, folks, and share the live stream. In the meantime, we're hungry for those emojis. We want to see those emojis. Let us see if we get the parents. Hello? 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 All right, folks, stay with us. We are going to try to get them again. Stay with us. We're going to try them one more time. We are going to try them one more time, guys. We really want to get them on the line, and we know that they were standing by to hear from us. And we don't know why the audio isn't going through it. We're going to sort that out. We are going to ensure that we sort that out, because we really want to get them on the line. Let me make sure we have that number correct. Or maybe they might want to call us if they're watching us. And I'm certain that we have them. I don't know why we're not getting, why the audio isn't coming through, but we're going to try again. Let's try one more time. You're going to want to hear this story of Kellon Belle. Guys, and you let me know if you're hearing the audio out there. Let me know if you're hearing the audio out there as well. We want you guys to get the audio clear.
Good night.
A very good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Am I speaking with the parent of Kellon Belle?
Kellon Belle, yes.
Camille and Kellon. Welcome, guys. You are live on the program. I want you to talk to our viewers. We have thousands of persons watching us this evening. A little bit about Kellon. Let's talk about him as a child. What kind of child was Kellon?
He was a very loving son. He was very jovial. It's like, I can't explain how my son was very nice.
Guys, let us know if you're hearing our guest. Let us know if you're hearing our guest. Go right ahead, ma'am.
He was one out of a million.
Great. And we know that our condolences first and foremost. Tell us what led up to Kellon being hospitalized. Talk to us about that.
Well, the Sunday he told me he's not feeling good. I carried him the Monday at the hospital, Fort Wellington Public Hospital. First thing I had to go to do COVID test on him. It was negative. They do the test on me and my son, it was negative. Then they do malaria and dengue test on him. The dengue was positive. They give him Panadol syrup and chloroquine, and they send him home.
Uh-huh.
Tuesday evening, about 11 minutes to 11, he told me, Mama, I'm not feeling nice. I end up and I call the father to the hospital. I carry him. His temperature was 102. His temperature was 102. The doctor gives him saline and an injection. And it's punching down. After then, they keep the son like about after 1 minute to 2, they send him home. He said before for mommy said if his son is not feeling good, send him back tomorrow. That was Wednesday. The Wednesday my son gets up with no fever still. I care about my son again. They give him saline and an injection again. And he's on the bed. Actually, Wellington all the time.
And here they're treating him for dengue.
Yes.
Because you said that all of you, including Kellon, did the COVID-19 test. and it was negative, but the dengue test was positive, and they're treating him for that at Fort Wellington.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
After then, they gave him the saline. He started to talk some different things. Then the doctor, Dr. Hamilton, was there. He was his doctor. He do back the COVID test again on him.
Mm-hmm. A second COVID test now.
Yeah, the second one, it was negative.
Negative again.
Yes, it was negative again. Then he said that it could be the fever that's flying his head. That means that is why he was talking different things. He was saying different things.
He was delirious.
Yes, they said, I'm going to transfer you to New Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that son be okay? He said, yes, your son will be okay. We went over there about after 1 in the afternoon. I was there with my son until 7. Yes, so after 7. Within the time, they do the test again. My son again, they do the...
This is another COVID test.
Yes, at New Amsterdam, at the New Amsterdam Public Hospital.
And this is now the third COVID test that they're doing.
The third one. It was negative again. Then they do the PCR. They said I have to wait an hour or 2 for it. In the meantime, they have my son on oxygen, and they was giving him saline again. And after my son, the breathing it was going low, it's coming up. It was going down, it was coming up. They decided to do an X-ray. While they were still doing the X-ray, one of the doctors used the word and said, this is a COVID, because you see the X-ray how the son come up. So I asked my sister, what happened to my son? She said, they cannot detect it yet. I have to wait until the results come. But how she's saying it could be it's COVID. I thought, so, my son don't have COVID.
3 negative tests, and this doctor saying your son got COVID.
Yeah, she said
from an X-ray.
Yes. Then a next doctor come, and the next doctor used and said that it looked like bronchitis, pneumonia. This is how it looked like.
Wow.
Then the doctor he take and he saw my son at the side, and he said that from the X-ray, my son's lungs have infection, both of it. So they said they still have to wait until the results are certain it's not COVID. They said, Mommy, we need to push it through down on throat, on his stomach. That would keep him breathing, but we have to transfer him to public hospital.
Yeah.
I asked the doctor again, would my son be okay? He said, yes, he'll be okay. So she said that she has to put him to sleep because he would fight up very, very good. Don't but okay. I went in back room. I didn't see somebody.
I'm not hearing you too clearly at our end.
She said, please go outside.
Yes.
I go in the room,
so they're incubating your son, pushing this tube down his throat, so he can breathe better, or down his nostrils so he can breathe better.
Yeah. When I go in back the room, I ain't see no heartbeat for my son. None. I asked the doctor, I said, Doctor, what happened to my son? He said, nothing, go outside. I go and stand up at the side. Then she come and she tell me, she said, I'm very much sorry that the son heart stopped.
Wow.
I said, oh no. I said, no, that is not true. She's gonna run out and start hollering.
You still at New Amsterdam Hospital at this point?
Yes. So, how was it feeling? Yes, then she come out back. She said, no, he's okay. We got him back. She said, but you need to go outside. I said, okay.
Let me paint this for our viewers for just a second who are sharing the live stream. That they sent you outside. They're incubating your son, trying to help him breathe. They're prepping him to be transported to Georgetown, and then they come out to tell you that he has lost his life. You gone in back, then they come out to say he's not really dead. They got him back.
Yes.
Take us from there.
After then, they put me and my husband outside. Then about 5 minutes after, one of the doctors come and said they need to see the both of us. And we went in the room and they said, I'm very much sorry that we tried all we could. I said, no, Doc, my son is not dead. They said, I'm so sorry. But my husband told me that. Please.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Good night, sir.
This is the father of Kellon Belle.
Yes, Mr. Bell. Talk to us.
Yeah.
So bring me in. Your wife Camille said to us that a third COVID test was done. Did you guys ever get the result of that third COVID test at New Amsterdam?
We get it today. We collect it today. Because at the time when things happened, we didn't really think in straight like to get up those stuff. So we're going to get it up today. And so we got it in our position. Likewise, at least if you could check on your phone and you can see the results from both hospitals.
Yeah. So 3 COVID tests, 3 negative results. Yet the doctor was convinced enough to try to incubate your son, and then he met his demise there.
Exactly.
And then we're being made to understand that they're still insisting that on the death certificate, the cause of death is COVID-19.
It's COVID-19.
Mr. and Mrs. Bell, what has the authorities told you since then?
The authorities tell you nothing.
Wow. Wow. And what are you guys asking for at this point?
Justice.
Justice for my son.
Justice for your son, who shares your name as well, Kellon Belle. Justice for Kellon Belle.
Yes, sir. Because the doctor, when she told me that, the son said, I'm sorry, and tell your best, the machine is still running slowly. And my son was still breathing. And I tell her, I said, Doc, the machine still moving. She tell me, no, that is just the drug. And she cut it off.
Wow.
So when she cut off the machine, my son was still alive.
Wow. My God. My God. Mr. and Mrs. Bell, you have our condolences, and I'm certain the condolences of this nation. As I said, thousands of persons are listening to us on social media, hearing your story, and I'm certain they're going to be asking for justice as well. And there are so many bizarre stories where COVID-19 is concerned and where persons are being treated. You have our sympathies and our support in any way that we can. Mr. and Mrs. Bell.
Sir, and next thing too.
Go right ahead.
Please, teachers, that what they're putting up on Facebook and social media, take it down that my son didn't die from COVID-19. Let us stop it, please.
Because we know that is what, and we've seen that too. We know that is one of the concerns of the teachers at Bushlot, where your son went to school, that the ministry was refusing to close the school because the child died from COVID-19. But again, here are the parents, Kellon and Camille Belle, Mr. and Mrs. Belle, saying that their son did not die from COVID-19. 3 COVID tests he did at 2 different institutions, which came back negative. Mr. and Mrs. Belle, I want to thank you guys for joining us. If you guys wish to add anything else, you can go right ahead.
I want is just justice. That's what we want, sir. Justice for his son.
Yeah. Folks, the Bells want justice this evening. Justice. Thanks for joining us, Mr. and Mrs. Belle. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Our condolences once more to you, your family, and all those who loved your son, Kellon Belle. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Folks, there you have it. Mr. and Mrs. Belle, the parents of young Kellon Belle, they are joining us from Berbice, grieving at this time, as can be understood, having lost their son. Their son. And you all heard the story directly from them. Directly from them. That's it. That's it, folks. Horror stories about how this administration is managing COVID-19. 3 COVID tests, according to the parents, came back negative. And the doctors insisting this child has COVID. They said 1 test for dengue came back positive, and that is what he was being treated for. But they're insistent, and it seems as though as soon as you go to incubate, that is the one thread running through a lot of COVID deaths. This insistence on incubating. But you have the information from the parents themselves. You have the information from the parents themselves. Justice, Frank Anthony, for young Kellon Belle. Justice, Irfan Ali, for young Kellon Belle. And I hope you folks share this live stream far and wide so people can see and understand what is happening in this country and why we have to continue to do what we're doing. If we don't bring the voices of Mr. and Mrs. Belle, who is going to bring it? NCN? DPI? Chronicle? Guyana Times? And you see why we need you. Justice for Kellon Belle, Barra-Jagdeo. Justice for Kellon Belle, Priya Manik-Chan. Justice for Kellon Belle. That's what the parents are asking for justice. Guys, share the live stream. This is a program. We want you to share the live stream so that people can know what is happening in this country. Justice. That is what people want. Justice. If the COVID, what is the purpose of doing a COVID test? If somebody else is going to come and say, oh, it is not COVID. It's this, it's that, it's bronchitis, it's all these manner of things. What is the purpose of doing 3 COVID tests if there's no faith in the result being produced by the test? And so, yet again, young child, gone. Kellon Belle. Young child, gone. From Bushlot there, Region 5, grieving and immensely hurt parents. Y'all want to hear a story? Let me give y'all another story before I let y'all go. On COVID-19. On COVID-19. Folks reached out to us just today on this case here. People think we make up things here in the ring, We don't have time for propaganda. They got too much happening in this country to spread propaganda. This government will be defeated by their own folly. You don't have to make up anything. Listen to this other COVID horror story before I let you guys go. Ongoing problem at Sunny Hospital. My cousin came from Region 1, Kaituma. She booked a flight to come to Georgetown. They told her She can't board the flight without a COVID test. Horror story. It was an emergency. Her 3-year-old daughter, the child was passing blood in her stool. Now she did the test on Monday and it was negative. She has the paper. She came on Tuesday's flight, the negative test. She came on the Tuesday flight. She went to Saudi hospital. This is what they are alleging. She went to Saudi hospital with the child. She showed them the COVID test with the result. She's negative. Now these people proceed to do another test on her and the child. Another COVID test. Saudi hospital now, allegedly. The test they did on her came out negative. And they still put her on the ward with other COVID patients. Folks, send us your COVID horror story. Allegedly, the person who sent us this said they put her on the ward with other patients at Saudi, the COVID ward. Now, if someone did not have COVID, this is according to this person, why they're putting that person in the COVID ward with patients who got COVID? They are exposing that person to the virus. Common sense tells us that. And then the girl is pregnant. And this morning, she started going into labor. The man, right? The person said, man, these people overdoing it in these hospitals now. So she and her 3-year-old in the COVID ward. She and her 3-year-old in the COVID ward at Saudi. And folks, the horror stories we get here in the ring on COVID-19 would fill the annals, would make up its own library. The horror stories we get here on COVID-19. And then as we dealt with young Kellon Belle, we thought it fit to share this person's experience as they are alleging what transpired between Port Kaituma, Region 1, and Saudi, being transferred to Saudi hospital. Y'all think it's easy in this country? While people gone all over the place gallivanting themselves, leaking school roofs, the healthcare system in a mess, compounded by COVID-19. And I say again, I dare say again, we don't need to make up anything here in the ring at all. There's too much happening in this country on a daily basis. On a daily basis. And we told you some of the information we get here, we can't even fit into an hour. It's just that we know you all have other things to do and other places to go. And so we constrain ourselves as much as possible to an hour to give you most of what is transpired during the course of the day. But the horror stories from COVID-19 alone would take up the whole hour. I didn't even tell you all the story of the woman who sent her daughter to the COVID center at Lilindale. They said similarly, they were incubating her. And so when she called her daughter's phone, she thought the daughter was recovering from that. And so she was giving her some space. When they finally got through, it was only to be told, oh, the daughter done there at the place in the crematorium site, Lupontier. 3 days ago. The daughter died 3 days and nobody contacted the family. Nobody. Y'all want to hear COVID horror stories? Send us your stories. Y'all want to hear COVID? We'd be here all night talking about Frank and Ramsamy and the other Jagabat, Berry, Ramsaran. 3 ministers of health. And where are we with the healthcare system in this country? Where are we with COVID? That young Kellon Belle's family got to be grieving. 3 COVID tests says negative. Yet, the doctor brighter than all them tests. It's COVID incubate. It's COVID, the child got incubate. What kind of quacks we got here? Y'all think it's only the pastor or whoever, His Excellency, Kevin Smith. He's a quack. You got some quack right here. Some quack in the health system, some quack in the religious bodies. Oh, so the quacktors. That's what we have for you this evening, folks. Thanks for joining us. Again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Bells. Kellon Belle shares the name with his father, who's also Kellon Belle, and Camille Belle. Our thoughts and prayers to all those folks who are grieving this young man's untimely passing. He ain't even the flower of his youth. Young Kellon Belle, not even in the flower, he in the blossom. He in the blossom and he gone. Right? But as long as we have it in us, as long as you allow us, we are going to be hunting down these stories and bringing you the truth. Valid and credible. Folks, as you go, share the live stream. And forgive me if I don't stick around this evening to give some folks a shout out. I'm certain you would understand. With a melancholy mood, having talked to Camille and Kellon Belle Sr., who were hurting. When all these doctors say your son gonna be okay, and then boom. Oh, we've lost his son. Just come on, Frank Anthony. Come on, Frank Anthony. Come on, Irfan Ali. Come on. Folks, that's our time for this evening. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your support. We have enjoyed your company for the last week, night after night, folks. You've showed up in your thousands, and we're grateful for that. Tremendously grateful. Have a fantastic weekend, guys. And we're going to see you guys right back here on Monday. Stay safe. Stay safe. See you guys right back here on Monday. Have a great weekend. Remember, we say every night, social distance, sanitize. Social distance, sanitize. Wear your mask, folks. Don't let us get complacent. Practice all the COVID-19 protocols that are in place for your health and your safety. That of your friends, family, and loved ones. Stay safe, guys. We're going to see you guys right back here on Monday. Stay safe.